Breaking news! The Denver Broncos have dropped a bombshell that could shake everything we thought we knew about this team's future. From the front office's bold strategy to players making unexpected decisions behind the scenes, there's a story unfolding right now that could define this entire season and possibly the next decade in Denver. We're talking big money, big names, and even bigger implications. This isn't just another player signing. It's a strategic power play that sends a clear message to the rest of the NFL. The Broncos aren't just trying to compete, they're building a dynasty. But before I tell you everything, if you've been a diehard Broncos fan through thick and thin, through every coaching change, every quarterback race, and every draft day debate, click that like button right now. And if you're proud to wear the orange and blue, leave this in the comments. Go Broncos! We're building something special. Now let's talk about what just happened. Nick Bonito has just signed a massive contract extension with the Denver Broncos. We're talking 4 years, $106 million, with incentives that could push it all the way to $120 million. That's $26.5 million annually, and potentially up to $30 million per year if certain benchmarks are hit. But here's the kicker, $70 million of that is fully guaranteed. This is more than just a contract. It's a message. Nick Bonito is betting on the Broncos. He's putting the team first and setting the tone for what's expected inside that locker room. After a breakout season where he racked up 13.5 sacks, ranking third in the entire NFL, the man could have easily asked for top-tier money. And with Micah Parsons cashing in at $47 million a year, Bonito could have pushed for numbers north of $30 million per year without blinking. But he didn't. Why? Because he believes this team is ready to make a Super Bowl run, and he's willing to make financial sacrifices now to make that happen. Bonito's deal mirrors the team-first mentality we saw earlier from Courtland Sutton, who signed a 4-year, $92 million extension himself. It's no coincidence. This isn't just a roster being assembled, it's a culture being built. And when you see top talents like Bonito taking less so the team can do more, it signals something special happening in Denver. Of course, Bonito's production speaks for itself. He's a menace off the edge. But even more promising is his commitment to becoming a complete defender. He knows his run defense needed work, and he spent the offseason dedicated to improving that part of his game. He wants to be elite, not just in pass rush, but across all phases of defense. That's what you want to see in your cornerstone players. And the Broncos are making it clear who those cornerstones are. The internal hierarchy for contract priorities has been unfolding right before our eyes. Courtland Sutton, Zach Allen, Nick Bonito, paid and locked in. That says a lot about where this franchise is heading. John Franklin Myers? He's next on the list, but he hasn't gotten that deal yet. And that silence is loud. It's a clear prove-it year for JFM. He's coming off a solid season with 8 sacks and 7 tackles for loss, but he wasn't drafted by this regime. Sean Payton and George Payton are telling him, you want him long-term? Show us you belong. And if JFM is aiming for that $20 million per year range he's rumored to want, he's going to have to show that he's on the same level as guys like Zach Allen and Bonito. And let's talk about what this deal means structurally. The Broncos still have Bo Nix on a rookie deal. That's huge. It allows flexibility for now, but only if players like Bonito take team-friendly extensions. This isn't just cap gymnastics, it's championship-caliber planning. They're locking up their key players at the right time, while still keeping space open for the next generation of stars. It's what the best-run franchises in the league do. You also have to consider the ripple effect of Bonito's deal. If a player of his caliber is willing to take less to win, what does that say to the rest of the locker room? It raises expectations. It sets a new standard. And it forces other guys to ask themselves, are you here to get paid, or are you here to win? The Broncos have clearly chosen their core. Pat Surtain, locked up. Courtland Sutton, locked up. Zach Allen, locked up. Jonathan Cooper, locked up. Even DJ Jones is secured. Everyone's getting locked in, and it's all pointing toward one thing, sustained success. But don't get it twisted, this isn't about discounts. Bonito's deal still makes him the 10th highest paid edge rusher in the league. That's real money. But what it's not is cap crippling. And that's the key. Because when the dynasty window opens, you can't afford to be bloated with bad contracts. You need flexibility. You need buy-in. And that's exactly what Bonito is giving the Broncos. Because when you look at the message this front office is sending, through every contract extension, every dollar spent, it's clear, culture matters more than ever in Denver. And that brings us right back to John Franklin Myers. JFM isn't just any player. He was a crucial addition to the Broncos' defensive front last season. His production was respectable, 8 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. He did exactly what he was brought in to do. But the difference here is that he's not homegrown. He wasn't drafted by this front office, and that makes all the difference when it comes to how George Payton and Sean Payton evaluate his long-term role in Denver. And let's be honest, while JFM had a strong season, he didn't dominate to the level of Bonito or Allen. And when you've already locked up your priority guys, the ones you believe are the foundation of your future, you start to be more selective with who gets the next big deal. JFM is on the outside looking in right now, and unless he takes a step forward this season, unless he turns good into great, he's not going to command the kind of money he's reportedly seeking. Let's break that down. Rumors say JFM wants somewhere in the $20 million per year range. That's top tier money for a defensive lineman. And if you're in his camp, you might argue that the rising cap, paired with consistent production, justifies that number. But the Broncos are playing this smart. They're holding the cards. If JFM wants that number, he's going to have to prove he's worth it, and he'll need to prove that he fits this culture of selfless, team-first mentality that Bonito just exemplified. Now, what happens if he doesn't? That's where it gets interesting. If JFM underperforms, or even just levels off, the Broncos are in a position to move on. He's not locked into a huge contract. His cap number isn't unbearable. And if a trade partner emerges before the deadline, it's not unrealistic to think the Broncos could flip him for draft capital, especially if some team out there believes he can take the next step in a different system. That's not to say the Broncos want to get rid of him. Quite the opposite. They'd love for JFM to go out there, dominate, and earn that deal. But he's got to meet them halfway, because the standard has been set, and it's high. Guys are taking team-friendly deals. They're prioritizing championships. And that's not just a nice PR talking point. It's real. Bonito's deal proves it. Sutton's deal proves it. Even Zach Allen's extension sends the same message. Now, let's zoom out just a bit and look at the big picture. With Bonito secured and key pieces in place across both sides of the ball, the Broncos are entering a golden window of opportunity. Bo Nix is still on his rookie deal. That's critical. Quarterbacks on rookie contracts allow you to spend elsewhere, to lock in elite talent without breaking the bank. And Denver is doing exactly that. They're not trying to buy a championship. They're trying to build one, piece by piece. That's what championship caliber franchises do. They make tough decisions. They invest in the right players. And they hold others accountable to the standard. If JFM wants to be part of that future, he's going to have to earn it this season. And this leads us to one final layer in all of this: competition. With Bonito now firmly entrenched as a long-term building block, with Zach Allen secure and Jonathan Cooper extended, there's pressure across the entire defensive line room. Young guys are going to be fighting for snaps. Roles are going to be up for grabs. That depth chart isn't just penciled in, it's dynamic. And that kind of internal competition, that breeds excellence. The Broncos are sending a message not just to the league, but to their own locker room. If you want to get paid in Denver, you have to do more than produce. You have to lead. You have to buy in. And you have to sacrifice when it matters most. So, Broncos country, here's the next question I need your take on. Should the Broncos commit to John Franklin Myers long term, or do you think it's smarter to let this season play out and decide later? And what would you do if you were in George Payton's shoes? Drop your thoughts below and let your voice be heard. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Smash the like if you believe this team can make a real run this season. And don't go anywhere. We've got more videos coming up, including a deep dive on Bo Nix's training camp progress and what to expect from the rookie this season. Tap the screen to check those out next. Go Broncos!